You're such an asshole.
I'm not trying to.
I was supposed to die in that hospital. My life would have fucking mattered. But you took that from me.
If somehow the Lord gave me a second chance at that moment, I would do it all over again.
At least he's honest about it.
Yeah. I don't think I can ever forgive you for that. But I would like to try.
I'd like that.
Okay. I'll see you around.
Yep.
Now it makes me wonder if actually Nolan North actually knew, like actually came up with that theory, or if maybe now it was kind of more pre-scripted. It's funny that she's upset with him because now that she didn't die, her life doesn't matter, but she had a chance to be part of a family, chose not to. She had a chance to fucking matter, and she chose not to. But she was upset at Joel for taking that opportunity away from her to be part of something bigger. Now she's all on her own in a life that doesn't matter. Oh, not gonna lie, gentlemen and ladies that may be watching, that was not very good. That was not very good. There were a lot of good things about it, though. So, I mean, I'm not going to completely write it off. I'm not unhappy that I bought it. I would still... I don't know. Maybe if you haven't bought it yet, maybe I would wait until it goes on sale. Speaking of, I know it did really well at first. And then like second week sales dipped like 80%. So it was like dramatic. But it's... What can I wrap this up with? It is great characters in a fascinating world with really, really great gameplay. But that story was brutal, man. Like that story was literally didn't say anything. Like, I mean, it's not to get too political, but it's literally the Democratic platform. We're for good things and against bad things, but we're not going to tell you what that is. You just got to vote for us first and hope that it comes okay. This game is like, it's trying so hard to say something, but it completely backfires in multiple instances. So I mean, okay, so first of all, you set it up to be a revenge story with Ellie. And then all of a sudden, in the middle of it, it cuts to a completely different story about the person you've been chasing. And then, when you get to the moment that you kind of revert back to this other game and the two come together, you're in this awkward moment where now all of a sudden the hero is the bad guy, and you're and then, like, you know, and then even after that, there's no remorse from the original was bad guy, now good guy. There's no remorse in her. You have this character, Ellie, who's learned her lesson before the change, right? She's there to exact revenge on Abby. Decides, you know what, fuck it. Dina's more important. Our safety is more important. Let's just go back. Abby's gonna get away with it, whatever. And then she can't handle it. She has to go back after Abby because of some random promise that doesn't make any sense why she would say this to Tommy. To, like, then at the end, when she finally, like, decides that revenge isn't worth it, then you find out that she's upset with Joel for taking the moment away from her that would have made her life mean something. But you find that out after she already decides to leave her family, which would have been a life of meaning. I mean, it's just so bad on multiple levels that who read this script and was like, this is genius? Who animated this game and never went, does any of this make sense? Like, people have a right to be mad. This was not good. This was not good. Because, like, the gameplay is still fun, but they didn't improve on it. You know, you still can't walk and change weapons out of your bag at the same time. You still can't jump through windows. Like, I mean, it's just not good. Like, it's just not good. And I'm trying to be as open-minded about it as possible because the first one was so good. But this one fell flat. This one really fell flat. So I'm gonna give this one thumb up because I do generally enjoy the gameplay. But this was, all these people failed miserably. Quality insurance, and you let this go through. This was bad. This was bad. This was bad. But hey, you know, they can't all be home runs. You know, they can't all be the best game of all time. But I was only really excited for 2 games this whole year, and this was one of them. Luckily, the other one is like my favorite game right now. So 50-50 is 50% is pretty. I would not buy this one at full price, guys. I sorry. I just wouldn't. I still stand by my previous statement that the outrage over this game before it even came out is ridiculous. It's just silly. But there's legitimate criticism here to be upset about. But like not criticism to the point where you should be able to take your game back. Like, get the fuck out of here with that. That's stupid. That's bad. That's dumb. But there's legitimate criticism to be upset with this, because this was not very good. I'm going there. I keep going back to the, like, you know, not and not like I kind of like glossed over the whole like story as well. I had major problems with some of the story within the story as well. You know, previously, going back to earlier in the stream when we first started, the fact that Abby was able to find Tommy and Ellie and all them so fast because Ellie, for whatever reason, left the map there. She remembered to grab everything else. You know, she still had her bag, but apparently after finding out that she killed a pregnant woman, she was so shocked with herself that she left the map on the ground, but was still coherent enough to find her way back to Jesse and Dina without the map. You know, like I just you know, and then all of a sudden there's like when Ellie first catches up to Abby, right? When Abby, I should say, catches up to them in that same moment, the first time through, we don't know that Lev is there. Now, because we know the way the game plays, right? And we've seen it all before. The fact that it was just Abby and Ellie with Dina in the background, like, it makes you think that Dina can come running down and the two of you guys can take on Abby. You need to know that there's that other person there. Then on the flip side of that, when you do know that the person is there, Dina comes running out and attacks Abby. How does Lev not shoot Dina like before she reaches Abby? Legitimate reasons to be upset with this game, because again, it from a story standpoint. Now, and this is why I don't justify the you know, the giving the money back and whatnot, because the game itself, the gameplay is fun. Like, it's a generally fun game to play. You're going around, you're being sneaky, you're trying to kill all these guys, and you got your bow and arrow, you got your silenced SMG and all this stuff. Like, it's generally fun to play. But the story of The Last of Us 1 was so good. And like, you have this dad who just lost his 11, 12-year-old daughter, or whatever she was, to this infection. He meets up with this girl, Ellie. He, like, if I remember correctly, he like rescues her or something to that effect. Or like they're like in some sort of conflict when they meet each other, and he hears her story that she happens to be immune to this infection, and now she wants to travel to Seattle to give herself over to this hospital so they can test on her and hopefully make a vaccine. This guy, Joel, just lost his daughter, just lost his wife, doesn't really have anything to live for, now has a purpose in life. And it's a fantastic story of surviving these quote-unquote little clubs like we see in this game that are literally just trying to, do whatever. Kill people that are on their premises, loot people, whatever it happens to be. And so there's like a dynamic that keeps you going, that everybody can get onto, and it's like a good, well written, thought out story with A to B. This game, on the other hand, is like, we've got this great character in Ellie. We've got a great character in Joel. We're going to bring in this new character Abby, this new character Lev. And we're going to set up this dynamic where it looks like there could be, like, I don't even know how to say it, that, that there are other people out there like Ellie, where they have these morally gray instances in their life. And so they have this platform, and it's like they have this platform idea and then kind of two stories, and they're like, we're going to write these stories and then we're going to somehow connect them together. But they have these stories that are not really all that well thought out, and they try and just glue it together like a torn up note out of a notebook. It just doesn't make any sense. It seems too plausible and too, I don't want to say unrealistic. I mean, how do you say this looks realistic when it's literally during the zombie apocalypse, right? But everything falls into place so much so that the story you're trying to tell looks like you're telling a story. It doesn't have a natural flow. It doesn't get people invested because it sounds like you're talking to them, not talking with them. And the worst part about it is it doesn't end up saying anything. It literally doesn't end up saying anything. You have the setup to be a revenge story with Ellie. You finally get a chance to get to that point where you get your revenge, and Ellie has a complete character arc and character change to where she's, you know what, hey, my personal revenge is not bigger than everything else. My personal vengeance that I want to get on this woman for killing Joel is not bigger than Dina needing to go back because she's pregnant, or Jesse needing to go back because I'm putting him in danger for selfish reasons. She finally has this epiphany, right? You have a character arc from A to B. And then instead of that being like the story, you then flip it over to the girl that you've been chasing, who you've been set up to hate this entire time, only to have her story basically be the exact opposite. Right? So you're learning about how she, she's already kind of this morally gray character because you find out that her dad is not like, he's not going to tell Ellie that she could possibly die, so he's immoral. She's part of these wolves that are using her to go slaughter these other people. Like they've ended this truce between these two warring factions, because she says their fault the whole time, even though through her story we find out that it was actually both sides wanted to cancel the truce. But instead of her having an epiphany like Ellie does, you never get that remorse. She just constantly seems to be on this singular path. Finally, she meets some of her enemies, this warring faction, these Seraphites, or who she calls the Scars. She finally meets these people to a point where she gets to know them, but they literally have to save her life first before she even gives them the benefit of the doubt. And then even after they save their lives, she only gives those two the benefit of the doubt. She never comes to the realization that not all Seraphites are the same, just like not all wolves are the same. Right? So she's got literally zero character arc. And then finally you get to that spot. You almost get to that spot where she's kind of like ready to just move on. She's going to go to Joel. She's going to go to Mel, and they're going to get in the boat at the aquarium, and they're going to head on to Santa Barbara with Lev. And that's when she runs into what happened with Ellie. So, like, you don't get the character arc with her because she never makes that full jump like Ellie does. But you literally have the same story between Abby and Ellie. And then you play as Abby as the good person, but she doesn't have a story arc. She doesn't learn the lesson, so she can't be the moral compass of the movie. That's Ellie, who now all of a sudden you've decided to flip 180 and make a bad person. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what they were trying to say because it's literally too much jargon to actually make any sense. It's the Ben Shapiro method. Say as much as you can, as fast as you can, and just hope people think that it's smart. Doesn't matter what you say, just say it. Like. But if it's on sale, it's fun to play. Just fast forward through all the story moments if you can. I don't think you can quit, but this was not good. This was not good, and I am now all of a sudden not really that interested in the Last of Us TV series on HBO Max, because if they're gonna keep up, if they're gonna keep the writers that they did with this game, I want no part. I want no part in that TV series. This was that bad. This was that bad. Neil Druckmann did not do a very good job with this, and the writing was very, very bad. Very poor writing. It's like it's like an ironic movie where the only irony in the movie is the fact that the movie sucks. Like the irony of an ironic movie is the fact that it's not ironic. The only ironic part about it is it's fucking god awful. This was not good. But if it is on sale, if you can get it for 50% off or something, and you liked the way the first one played, this one generally has good gameplay. They didn't improve on it at all, but they didn't try to fix what wasn't broken. They added a few more things like the dogs. I like that. That was cool. and the like the quote unquote hearing kind of sense ability. I really liked that as well. A couple of knocks on it. I mean, you still can't. Again, you still to switch weapons for whatever reason. You can't just take your shotgun out and put your and put your uh, rifle in your bag or whatever. Like you can't do it. I get it if you can't run and do it, but why you can't like crawl like you're wrapping your bandage? Like why you can't do it like that is still beyond me. Can't jump through glass. Seems like a pretty common thing that you should be able to do in a video game. So I mean, little things that they didn't improve on, but they didn't make it any worse. But it's not worth full price. It's just not. Uh, but I'm glad we played through it. I was excited for it. It's kind of a bummer that it wasn't as good as the other guy that I was excited for. But again, you can't win them all. You can't win them all.